Have you ever wondered what the current state of U.S. military operations in the Middle East looks like? The scene is complex and ever-evolving, with the U.S. locked in a high-stakes chess game with Iran-backed groups. Recently, 6 U.S. service members were diagnosed with traumatic brain injuries as a result of attacks from these groups in Syria. This isn't the first time either. In 2020, over 100 service members suffered similar injuries after an Iranian missile attack in Iraq. The U.S. isn't just on the receiving end, though. The Biden administration has launched airstrikes against these militias, actions that have stirred controversy around sovereignty and legality. The Iraqi government, for one, has condemned these strikes, calling for an end to U.S. military intervention. U.S. officials, however, stand firm, stating they will take necessary measures to defend their troops and interests overseas. This leads us to the recent series of events that have escalated tensions in the region. One cannot fully comprehend the airstrikes without understanding the events leading up to them. In the early part of 2024, a drone attack in Jordan tragically resulted in the loss of 3 American soldiers. This attack was not a random act of violence. It was a calculated move by Iran-backed militias, a stark reminder of the volatility in the Middle East and the perilous conditions under which our service members operate. In the wake of this attack, the Biden administration was faced with a tough decision. The president, known for his measured approach, had to balance the need for an appropriate response against the potential for escalating conflict in an already unstable region. True to his word, President Biden made it clear that any harm to American lives would not go unanswered. His words, "If you harm an American, we will destroy you," echoed across the world. A stern warning to those who threaten U.S. interests. The decision was made: the United States would not sit idle. In retaliation, the U.S. military was tasked with launching major airstrikes on 85 targets in Iraq and Syria. This was not a knee-jerk reaction. It was a calculated move, a demonstration of strength, and a clear message to those who would do harm to Americans. The planning was meticulous. The targets were carefully selected, each one linked to the Iran-backed militias blamed for the drone attack in Jordan. The operation was launched, and in the course of 30 minutes, U.S. aircrafts flew over Iraq and Syria, dropping their payloads on the designated targets. The response was swift, but it was not without its own set of controversies. Questions were raised about the legitimacy of the airstrikes, the potential for civilian casualties, and the impact on regional stability. Yet, amidst the debates and discussions, one thing remained clear: the United States had made its stance known. It would not stand by while its soldiers were targeted. The retaliation, though swift, was not without its own set of controversies. The aftermath of the airstrikes paints a vivid picture of devastation and political fallout. As the dust settles, we're left with a landscape changed. The airstrikes targeted 7 facilities, 4 in Syria and 3 in Iraq, each of them allegedly housing Iran-backed militias, blamed for the strike in Jordan. Among the damaged locations is the city of Al-Qaim in Iraq. The operation, lasting about half an hour, was declared a success by the White House. However, in the immediate aftermath, specifics about the damage, as well as any deaths or injuries on the ground, were scarce. A Pentagon official did indicate that casualties were expected, but no further information was given. However, the fallout goes beyond the physical destruction. The airstrikes have stirred a political tempest. The Iraqi government, for example, has condemned these strikes as a violation of their sovereignty. They have voiced a desire for an end to U.S. military intervention in their nation. Moreover, questions are being raised about the legality of these strikes. The U.S. Congress has never officially authorized war in Syria. As such, the strikes have added fuel to the ongoing debate about the extent and nature of U.S. involvement in the Middle East. The Biden administration's endorsement of a congressional effort to repeal the 2002 authorization for use of military force in Iraq potentially leaves them without legal authority for strikes in Iraq as well. The strikes have left behind more than just physical damage. They have sparked debates about the future of U.S. involvement in the Middle East. As the world reacts to these airstrikes, the conversation continues to evolve. What is clear, however, is that these strikes represent a significant moment in ongoing tensions, and their impact will undoubtedly shape the course of U.S. foreign policy in the region for years to come.